Yes, they're standing up, but not for him. There's the star of the show. So this is the Tory conference, which was incredibly exciting, because the leader of the Conservative Party, Boris Johnson... well, if you're watching the repeat, it is. It's an incredible set of speeches, because he made the Tory conference give Ken Livingstone a round of applause.
He did.
I'll never recover from that.
There is a very simple way of finding out how popular a politician is, as we can see here from the Paralympics.
The medals tonight will be presented by the Right Honourable George Osborne MP, Chancellor of the Exchequer.
I think it was worth the whole £9 billion.
But Mr Shapps didn't seem keen today to help find them.
What about Corinne Stockheath of Surrey? Doesn't appear to be any Stockheath anywhere in the world. There doesn't appear to be a Stockheath anywhere in the world. Is she genuine? Is Richard Wharton of Tech Tree up to New York genuine? Is JLM Richards of the Wollaston Trust? There doesn't appear to be a Wollaston Trust. Is he, Michael?
Is that is everybody is genuine. I'm answering the questions for the essay, and I think that should do the trick.
Well, he used to be Minister for Housing, so I'm very worried about his sense of rooms. He can't seem to find a toilet.
Meanwhile, what did David Cameron do recently in an attempt to boost his own popularity?
Cut his throat.
We would have heard about that, wouldn't we?
But you can beat up burglars now as long as you're not grossly disproportionate. So you can kill them, but you can't poo on their head.
We're going to have to rewrite Goldilocks, aren't we? In she comes, whack! Dead. 3 bears jump on her head.
But the point of the story was that the bears weren't there when she arrived. That's why she managed to get all the porridge. You really must do your research, Ian. This is a very well-done story. There have been many independent eyewitnesses over the years.
She was upstairs because she went to sleep at the end of the story, so she was there, and the bears did go up and they did confront her.
They returned
so
to the empty house.
I did do the research.
Oh, no. Not what you said.
No. I didn't actually say when they actually attacked her.
We are genuinely having a legal row about Goldilocks.
It's very important.
Very.
What was really funny, though, in the handover about a week after I'd lost and Boris took over,
Don't go there if it's too painful.
Bloomberg flew in, and to say congratulations and anything I can do to help, and he gave him this Tiffany crystal apple. And no one had told Boris, that this was going to happen. So he rummages around, and I'd left an old T-shirt with something like a tube map on the front, and he gave him that,
I went to London and all I got was this T-shirt.
I had a look at somebody's internet machine today because I understand there was a hoax thing that was put on there about 12 years ago now, but because these things exist forever, people have grown up and forgotten that they knew it was a hoax or whatever.
I mean, he was on the show.
He was on the show, yeah. So there's this transcript where apparently I tore into. I mean, none of that happened on the night. But there are now people on the internet who claim to have seen it. Yeah. Somebody says, I definitely saw that. Why has Paul Merton denied it on Radio 2? I've been brainwashed. I mean, if I have, then how do I know? But no, it actually didn't happen. It was a hoax. But...
I'm glad the BBC's asked this question. I mean, presumably this will be cut and shown on ITV in 3 weeks' time. I mean, when that fake transcript came up, the only reason I knew about it because I was outside a cinema in Maidstone and a group of skinheads came up to me and said, "Well done getting the pedo." And I hadn't. I had no idea what they were talking about. And the truth is, no one actually knew. And if they did, they should be prosecuted.
But what's
anyway,
odd about
that's
this?
comic gold.
The resources...
This is the much-loved, saintly philanthropist and tireless charity fundraiser. I'm so sorry, that is last year's script. This is the reviled paedophile and serial sex offender, Sir Jimmy Savile, OBE. Well, it's not the past.
It's not the future. It's what we're going to be in the future.
It's what we'll be in the future.
We'll be wearing our stomachs on the outside.
Oh, I see. Because we'll be sitting at computers and the computers will be very far for some reason.
Why have we got torches as genitals?
Yeah. So we can piss in the dark. That's what evolution's about.
It's every man's dream.
Every man's dream. Well, we do it anyway, don't we?
But they've taken away his hook.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he appeared without his hook.
They've given one of those plungers that the Daleks have.
Very good, wasn't she? Oh. Good evening, Mr. Bond. And that corgi was so good, he died. Monty the corgi, who starred in it,
No.
he thought, it's never going to get any better.
Yeah.
He didn't, Ian.
He did. No old person's retirement acting home for him. No, he just keeled over.
No. You can make jokes about Jimmy Savile and Abu Hamza, but not a corgi dying. That's not...
There's actually a hoax thing on the internet when he appeared on this programme. Apparently, I really...
So now for a bonus round. Come here, you little sod. It's been a big week for people doing ridiculously idiotic stunts. Let's play the Wheel of Idiots. Ah, that's Lance Armstrong. He's a cheat. Unwary collectors have sometimes mistaken what for horse brasses?
Is it toilet seats?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. That's your answer to every question on this show for the last 22 years. Is it toilet seats?
I thought it might look like a horse brass.
Oh,
What's a smaller version of a toilet seat?
are you Rhinal?
A horseshoe.
A horseshoe's a smaller version of a toilet seat.
The answer is bottle openers.
Oh, yes, of course.
This is from Horse Brass magazine. In July's edition, editor Dick Bradshaw writes, like many specialist publications these days, I wonder how long it will be before ours features as guest publication on Have I Got News For You?
They're called the black spider letters because the handwriting looks like black spiders. But what if he's actually just writing about black spiders and has gone a bit mad? Or signs it the Black Spider as some kind of bizarre superhero.
So Prince Charles by day, by night, the Black Spider.
In a big spider costume with 8 pens
running across
simultaneously.
modern buildings going, oh, I hate the architecture. It's the Black Spider.
Oh, you need a theme tune nearly.
Yeah, he's got a theme tune. Black Spider,
Black Spider.
And he's got a call sign in the sky. The sign goes up, the Book of Common Prayer is under assault.
When you mix with popular culture, it's always a very strange by-product we get.
By whom is the Queen not amused this week?
Jeremy Hunt.
Indeed.
Yeah. He's currently glorying in the title of the dimmest man in Britain. And he said to the Queen, a Japanese tourist said to me that we'd never get the Emperor to jump out of a plane. And she just looked at him and walked off. And then Prince Philip came up and said, who are you? Then head-butted him. Jeremy Hunt went down like a sack of corn. Princess Anne came in and booted him in the parliamentary privilege. And
most of that's true apart from the end bit.
oh, right.
This is Starbucks paying...
It is.
What is it? 0.00003% tax?
It's paid zero tax on its
Zero?
profits since 2009.
Yeah, but that's why we have a revenue system, is to say, that's an obvious scam. Would you grow up and give us the money, please?
Yes.
I mean, people do, Vodafone, they're registered in Ireland, and Philip Green's wife lives in Monaco. I mean, we've seen all this stuff before, and it's jolly amusing, but it's time for the money. This has just given a huge payoff. Which is difficult to spend in prison.
But as we said, under the terms of the arrangement, she might have to pay it back under the circumstances you've brought up.
Oh, yeah, if she were found guilty.
Yes. If she's convicted, if she is convicted of a criminal offence, that's right. And as her case hasn't come up yet, I've been advised that I shouldn't say anything further. In fact, suspicions about the scale of the scandal were only aroused when Newsnight pulled an investigation into it. Paul and Richard, thank you. Not quite sure whether you're laughing or having some sort of digestive problem, but thanks anyway.
Either way, it's very well.
Please feel free. I love a burp and a fart when I'm... Oh, I
That's a good night out for you, isn't it?
do. It is. Because I always like to say better out than in, a bit like Simon Cowell in a lifeboat.
But he has an incredible history of saying the most incredibly stupid...
Yeah.
You know, a few months ago, he said, I enjoy firing people. I love making people unemployed. Why is it that sort of, like, all the people that seem to run for presidents, there's always one of them that's a complete dodo? What's going on? And even the name Mitt. Mitt? What sort of name is that? What's it short for? Mythew? I mean, what is it? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Romney, you've got a new child. What are you going to call him? We're going to call him Mitt. Why?
Don't go to Twitter for rational commentary.
Go to Radio 5. On your dial, just past the police messages.
Do you listen to Five Live?
No, of course they don't.
No, you don't do. You all listen to Radio 4, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, that's it. We never knew that. We've never asked that poll before. OK, so how many people here, put your hands up if you listen to Radio 4? This programme is much cheaper on Radio 4, you know. Keep it to yourselves.
Put your hands up if you listen to Radio 5
Oh,
Live.
don't be ridiculous. Oh, there's a few.
At least 8.
Yeah,
Put your hand up if you've got something to do during the day. Just checking.
Put your hands up if you recently starred on BBC Two wearing a funny hat.
What happens when you travel faster than the speed of sound? Do you hear things that you've already said and overtake them?
Yeah. It's like watching a repeat of this programme.
This is Felix Baumgartner, who jumped 24 miles from the edge of space, reached speeds of 833 miles an hour and broke the sound barrier before making a perfect landing. That, David Blaine, is a stunt.
So these underpants, you plug them in and you get the electric shock which sends you up and you turn in mid-air. There's just somebody in the control room. Give him 40,000.
Well, it's quite
Or do
interesting.
they work walking down the street?
Sorry?
Can you walk wearing them down the street and have a radio controlled? Is it for women to control men? By giving them the electric
Sounds slightly
underpants?
paranoid of you.
Oh, it's a really good idea. Don't you think it's a good idea?
To control men with
Electric underpants?
I prefer just hitting them with a baseball bat. One of Pussy Riot's songs urges Russian housewives to join the revolutionary... Oh, sorry, I'm getting tired now. I need my electric pants on. One of Pussy... One of Pussy Riot's songs urges Russian housewives to join the revolutionary struggle with the lyrics, "Take your vacuum cleaner and get off on it, have an orgasm." On behalf of casualty departments everywhere, I'd like to point out that is for women only. After his death, Richard III's portrait...
So you must have had... Did you ever get people turning up...
What do you mean I must have had what?
Well, occasionally, you know, people turning up with very... Even, you know, although you weren't in a general hospital, in the morgues, did you ever get people arriving with strange things inside them, which they tried to explain away?
Yes, I thought that the saddest one that we had was a woman arrived with the cap of a bottle of Brasso up her vagina because she thought that's the sort of contraceptive cap you needed when you were a teenager. Had a nice, shiny vagina then. It's all right, that won't go out.
I think it will.
You don't. No.
The boom in badgers has had an effect on hedgehogs. There are now very few hedgehogs are now being edged towards endangered species.
Do badgers eat hedgehogs?
Very carefully.
Do they? Mind you, they come with their own toothpicks, so it's not all bad, is it? That's quite a good joke, that. Is this on?
Have you been around for Twitter? Did you miss Twitter?
Well, I missed that Twitter, but I'm aware of the phenomenon, yes.
OK. Just if anything you're not up to speed on, you just... Also this week, what has David Cameron been saying about criminals? Conrad.
He didn't really make a decision that innocent people should not go to jail, did he, this week?
Does this require the truth, Alexander?
I know you're not used to that, Conrad.
Not used to hearing it, certainly.
Ah, really? What about from the jury?
9 acquittals, and they sort of ran out of steam. But the Supreme Court made up for it
No, you didn't run out of
unanimously.
steam. You ran into jail. They found you guilty, didn't they, Conrad, the jury?
9 acquittals, complemented by a unanimous vacation of the 4 guilty verdicts by the Supreme
But 2
Court
stuck,
of the US.
didn't they? One for fraud and one for obstruction of justice.
Ian, please.
Oh, stop reciting the verdict as though it was true.
A little respect for due process, Ian.
No,
You're a banana.
I do respect it. I am not a banana. All I'm saying is that you were found guilty of 2 counts, which stood, you went to jail, you've come back. You would like to be rehabilitated, if that was the word.
No, I have been rehabilitated, and I'm proud to have been cleared by the Supreme Court unanimously.
You weren't cleared.
And I've come here...
You've come here to say you're innocent, which is sweet, but not true.
I must say how moved I am at the relief that is clear tonight throughout the room at the fact that I did indeed come out. I had not, I had not been in this country for 7 years, and I'm really quite affected by this tremendous solicitude for the fact that I did leave. My wife, who has also enjoyed, as I have, a tremendously sympathetic treatment in the British media over the last few years, and she...
But you did own a big chunk of it, and you weren't awfully sympathetic to other people, were you?
I was deeply sympathetic, even to you, Ian.
No, you weren't. Not at all.
Oh, Ian, what rubbish. Your nose is growing. I was a very...
My nose is growing. God.
And,
the black calling the kettle a crook. God.
But I genuinely can understand how, if you were in charge of an organisation like that and somebody had just died, you wouldn't necessarily think it was the right thing to put out a programme saying they were a child molester. I think you should be a bit careful what you say about people who aren't there to defend themselves, and I think it must have been a difficult decision, and I think the BBC would have had a really hard time if they had put it on. If they didn't put it on, they're getting a hard time anyway.
That's certainly novel.
I'm glad so many of you agree.
Yeah. I totally agree that, we should be looking at the managers of the hospitals who gave him a room and whatever, but the BBC employed him for 50 years. They cracked him up, they did nothing about what he got up to. That has to be remedied. You cannot say, oh, it's unfair on the BBC. That's why the Director-General is in front of a Parliamentary Select Committee. The whole thing is about, was it pulled because the BBC thought, we can't disrupt our Christmas schedule, we can't piss on our own 50-year parade of Isn't Jimmy a Great Guy by putting out a programme that's saying, actually, he wasn't. Look at this.
Were you hoping our answer would be funnier than this?
Yes.
George Entwistle, as I understand, has just sort of taken on the job quite recently. You've got to salute the chap, is it Thompson, who was in the job before? He's like the person that sells his house just before a motorway goes through the garden. And this poor Mr. Entwistle, straight in.
Poor Mr. Entwistle was in charge of television when the Newsnight programme was pulled.
This is to do with beluga whale.
There's a beluga whale, I think, who's mimicking human speech.
A marine biologist diver thought he heard a whale telling him to get out of the water.
Yeah, get out,
so
get out of the water, get out of the
set
water. It's hard to keep these alight under here, I tell you.
He set up a programme of sound recordings of the whales and analysed them.
Yes.
Do you want to hear the whale doing an impression of a human?
Yes, please. That sounds like a hell of a party.
I like the idea that you could pay to see records from politicians. You could bid for... I'd pay £100 to see George Osborne's O-level maths paper.
I need a what? The old one's inside a cow.
Mobile phone.
You're absolutely right. A new phone.
Yeah.
According to his insurers, a farmer claimed for a new phone after he lost his iPhone whilst trying to use it as a torch to look up the rear of a cow.
Was there nothing on the telly that night?
Sad thing was he was only looking up there for his... Oh, balls.
Was he looking up there for his balls? You've got an idea about animal husbandry which you should keep to yourself. Clearly America, clearly New York. This huge storm, Hurricane Sandy, has hit.
The storm had disrupted the filming of Noah. It does give, does it not, the news channels the opportunity to run their annual competition to see which reporter can stand in the stupidest place in bad weather. This is always my favourite thing in bad weather. I think in third place, up to his knees, in water. Second place, man, bit breezy there. But for me, the winner is this chap.
Look at the water actually just pouring over the seawall now as...
Love that.
Heseltine, I think he was doing a joke about how the Labour Party goes left, 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 left.
Do you think that's what John Major's laughing at?
He's got secrets all of his own.
You can make those wind turbines look beautiful if you just imagine that they're giant, invisible World War II fighter aircraft. Then they don't look so bad. So if you're going for, say, a hurricane, it's... If you're doing a Spitfire, it's more... revved at a much higher... Well, you know that.
That's bloody good. Maybe you could stand on top of the wind turbines to give more...
Oh, we could pre-record it. That'd be easier.
He's produced 89 proposals. You can guess how many of those will be used. None. He's called for enterprise, growth, more localism, a series of policies that the present government has already rejected. So Osborne said, we welcome Mr Heseltine's contribution. It's really kind of him to produce the report. And we'll see him another year. So it's called No Stone Unturned. Sounds like a new album by the popular beat combo.
I think... Rolling Stones?
Rolling Stones, that's what they're called.
That's where, yeah.
You're absolutely right, of course.
Yeah.
And what does this the man say when Osborne enters the room? OK, listen carefully.
Chancellor, a point I put to the man in charge of the economy.
Is there an explanation for that? Is there another half of that word we didn't hear?
No, we've been watching all day long, and he just says, tosser.
You sure he doesn't say Chancellor?
Well, he might say Chancellor, but it doesn't, does he?
Well, can we look again?
Yes, sure.
Chancellor, a point I put to the man in charge of...
As long as you're called Berlusconi, you are technically innocent of all crimes.
Yeah.
Particularly involving belly dancers called Divine Ruby.
Divine Ruby? You dragged that up from somewhere. What does that name mean to you?
It's Ruby the Heart Stealer. That's who was at the Bunga Bunga party. Look, I was there. He invited a lot of people over.
Yes.
I went over. Tessa Giles' husband, me, we were all there. They were very good parties. I don't know why everyone makes such a big deal.
Yeah, you've basically covered it all there.
Yes, well, Ian's covered more than I have.
Who is now stepping up to the mark and likely to take over at the centre-right party?
Lady Mussolini.
Alexandra or something?
A young lady fascist
Would you
Mussolini.
like to see a photograph of her? Because I would.
Yes.
There's Italian politics for you.
Is Alessandra Mussolini.
Her grandfather, he was hung from a lamppost. She looks like she's seen standing underneath one.
She's certainly got Berlusconi's knack for diplomatic language. She's known to argue it's better to be a fascist than a puff. Wasn't that a Simon and Garfunkel song? It's the world's worst wax museum, the Louis Tussauds House of Wax in Great Yarmouth. I think it's facing closure.
Yarmouth, of course.
Shall we have a look at some of their other work?
Yes.
Like, first of all, who's this?
Michael Jackson, obviously.
No, it isn't. That's Edwina Currie.
Paul, you're right. Next one.
Is that Ian Botham?
Oh, you're on fire! I'm startled by your ability to do this.
Yeah, I'm rather startled myself, actually.
That's just a dude at reception. Oh, Daley Thompson.
It is actually Daley Thompson.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I resent the premise of this. They clearly know who these people are.
Yeah. You might get William Pitt the Younger in a minute, but yeah, just let it be there.
There's actually one of you, Will.
Neil Kinnock.
No, they've got one more politician, actually. They've got Ed Balls. Here he is. Except that isn't Ed Balls, is it? Who is it?
It's Hitler.
No, it isn't. It's Ed Balls during Movember.
What does the success of the 99p dress tell us about Christmas, according to the online suppliers?
It's nearly here. It's very exciting. Christmas.
Is that a preview of your new Christmas single?
It is.
That's fantastic. You and Berlusconi walking through a winter wonderland.
We're doing a double act.
Oh, I hope it's true.
Well, Adele's James Bond theme for Skyfall has rocketed to the top of the charts, despite little fanfare or promotion. There's a Bond film out. No! The former Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, had to cancel a press conference at the United Nations last month after a poor turnout. How many people showed up to hear Gordon's thoughts on global education?
17.
Now, according to the Telegraph, 1.
And do we know who that was?
Well, it was the Telegraph reporter.
Some bloke saying, you're going to be much longer, I've got to lock up.
What? Blasted into space.
Hedgehog.
Short word.
A car.
Longer than that.
Cars.
Man. Bars. 3 bars.
Yeah,
Sorry,
beer.
I'm just momentarily bored.
Really?
And I noticed, Tony, that you've got the rest of my hair. And I'd like it back, please. I've been for the last 20 years, I thought, where the bloody hell's my hair gone? And there it is, on his head.
Have you never sort of thought of a comb-over?
Have you ever seen him do a piece to camera in the wind?
No.
Comb over.
You get one, it's a comb over.
Didn't Elton John write a song about you doing a piece of camera in the wind?
There it is.
No, look at that.
Still gone pets with a comb over, in the wind.
Is that it? See, you could, with the magic of TV, you could put the hair on you quite easily.
Well, that's what he was saying earlier.
Just sit still and we can do that, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Or maybe mine will go on Ian's head and that'll be comedic.
They're trying it now, So
And then I'd start talking about cars.
Just keep still. Keep still. Look. See, I bet you're not bored now, are you?
The final scores are Ian and Will, you have 6, and Paul and Tony, you also have 6. Now, since the scores are level, let's have a quick tie-break round, OK? Buzz when you know who this is.
Winston Churchill.
That mistake, that's Shirley Bassey.
Yes, correct. That is Winston Churchill. And this one?
Rowan Atkinson.
Yes,
Mr. Bean, yes, Rowan
next.
Atkinson. Ian Hislop.
No.
Michael Barrymore.
There you go, I knew you knew.
I know.
Next.
I get the tasteless one.
Cliff Richard. Cliff Richard.
Yes. Next.
Neanderthal Man. George Best.
Yes, correct.
George Best?
Tom
Next.
Cruise.
I can see who's behind him. Is that
Noel Edmonds.
Noel Edmonds.
I'll give you a clue. I will give you a clue.
Yeah.
The person in that picture looks absolutely nothing like the person whose name appears on my list.
Is it the Dalai Lama?
It's more ridiculous
Is it
than the Dalai.
politics?
Cilla Black.
Is he in politics?
It's Jim Davidson.
Right, it's a Sean Connery. Sean Connery.
It is, but that's Cliff Richard again, isn't it, really? This waxworks is
Yeah, it's
gloriously
fantastic.
terrible.
Sherry Blair.
No.
Jackie Onassis.
No, and you've been there all night wanting it to be her.
Shirley Bassey.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner. Paul and Tony, you're on 14. Ian and Will, you're on 9.
And there's a man in decision there. I'm going to go... no, I'll go back. And these are people too young to be that disappointed.
And still, I don't know where to vote.
Yeah. So, yes, this is the American election. Barack Obama has won convincingly.
Did he stay out?
No, but I wasn't voting. Or indeed run him. So I knew I'd find out in the morning.
What's Radio 4 for?
Yeah, Radio 4-4. Is there 2 of them? Radio 4-4.
Yeah, it was. I was
really grateful that I was
Is that Radio 2 too? Sorry, Harry.
Radio 11 makes 11. I was grateful to be in this time
Look,
zone.
it goes to 11.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Knew it was going to happen.
Got there early. Oh, I'm so happy I've got that in. Did I see you on ITV?
You on ITV?
Yeah, I made a brief appearance.
Saucy little monkey.
Was it a good night?
Yeah, it was a terrific night. I went to the American Embassy. I came in and a woman said, "Are you Democrat or Republican?" And I said, "Well, I don't get a vote." And she gave me a Republican badge and said, "There's a lot of these." And I thought, I think I know which way this one's going.
You said voters. Are you Farage? Nigel Farage?
What would you park your car in?
Are you accusing him of having a dodgy American accent?
No.
The Americans have a Conservative Party and a very Conservative Party. And then they have a Tea Party, which you just don't want to know.
How did he get the dog to stay on his face like that?
There were some technical issues with voting machines. Did anyone see that story?
Yes. There was a voting machine where a person kept pressing the button for Obama and the machine kept registering Romney.
That's absolutely right.
It's magic. And he still lost.
Yeah. These things are harder to fix than you think.
That's an appalling accusation.
Big news this week is the election of the Coptic Pope after the last Pope Coptic. It's my favourite joke of the evening, I tell you.
It's going to be a long run.
Well, what we have is the name being shown, and I'm afraid my Arabic is not up to telling you what that is, but I'm sure we will know very shortly.
We'll play Blackburn Rovers.
The last time I was on this programme, Ian, in fact, you had a very serious dig at me because I'd been accused...
Surely not.
No, honestly. I was very surprised about it.
I needed counselling.
I did.
I can't remember anything about it. Was it £2 million of expenses?
Apparently, I did. That's right.
Although, Nigel, you did have a meeting with Andrew Neil recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
After you said in 2009...
We haven't finished this yet. I'm still enjoying the expenses.
You'd start publishing your expenses quarterly, but you still don't.
Well, we're doing them 6 monthly instead.
Let's have a quick look at this.
There's no information about your expenses since December 2011. That's nearly a year.
Yeah. In fact, we're doing it every 6 months, not quarterly. That seemed a more practical way to do it. And you're quite right.
You haven't done it this year at all.
I haven't done it this year at all because I simply haven't had time to do it. There's a big difference here.
What are your feelings about Nadine Dorries?
She's gone off to be on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And Parliament's actually sitting. I mean, there are loads of votes. She's not going to help her constituents. A lot of people in Parliament are quite cross.
Does she still get her salary while she's away on a reality show?
Yes, she does.
She does.
Oh, yes, she does.
Eric Pickles had something to say about it. Have a look at this.
Well, I should be watching it for the first time for a long time. And as I say, I should be reading it religiously every week to keep her there.
I'd like to be invited to the American Embassy at some point.
There was burgers, chips, free beer. It was worth it.
We scanned and...
Scanned. Yeah, I had to give my mother's maiden name.
Were you probed?
Probed?
Probed.
Of course, why do you think I went?
OK.
No, well, our lot would have voted for the amount that goes to Brussels to be zero every day.
Well, may I suggest that your position be that you owe them, Britain owe the money to the EU, but just not get around to paying it?
Excellent.
We could do that, but
through not having enough time.
Not a very... No, I took the money first.
The birds would be dropped into Nazi-occupied Europe using mini parachutes. Odd, considering they have wings.
Yeah.
The parachute would just slow the pigeon down. It would start flying, and it's got this little wind chute behind it that's slowing it down. They couldn't have thrown them out of planes with wearing parachutes. They couldn't have done that. It's impossible.
I agree. Yeah. Right into the show.
OK. In your dealings, have you ever found anyone who's responsible for anything?
You can write in right now.
Dear points of view, you must think we're all idiots. Yours sincerely, the British public. Lord Mayor says, we don't introduce it, put this machine in the sandwich. It's all made idiots, so we can't make this thing bloody work. What's the matter with it? I keep pressing the bloody thing that keeps coming up. Mitt Romney, I'm trying to vote for Barack Obama.
Local councillor. You could be local councillor Mike Leddy.
I am, I admit it. I would have got away with it all if it hadn't been for you kids. Oh, I've had one of his spells.
And here he is. Here is Mike Leddy.
Go on, then. Where's Mike Leddy?
Looking unimpressed.
He's wearing a mask. Look, his head's 2 times the size it should be. He's not got ash dye, has he? Yes.
What have scientists discovered Koshik the elephant can do this week?
He can order marmalade in 15 different languages.
He can do it in one?
No, he can simulate human speech.
Another one. We had a whale last week to do that.
Oh, they're such copycats. They watch the show, they think, oh, if the whale can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
He puts his trunk in his mouth and then blows the air in, and it makes a sort of echo chamber, and it makes a human voice.
Is that legal to put your trunk in your mouth and blow?
If I could do that, I'd never leave the house.
You couldn't pay people to do that?
No, you couldn't. I've tried.
He's an Indian elephant, and he's learned to speak Korean, apparently, and here he is. And that's Korean for good.
Yeah. He's patronising his keeper.
Yeah.
In a foreign language.
Tell us about William Taft, then. President Taft. What did he do?
He was President of the United States. Have a quick guess what number he was.
No, he was 27. It's not right. Not right, is it? No.
Yes, he's the 27th President of the United States.
I'm taking universe.
How did Xi Jinping once respond to foreign critics of China?
He made very tiny poodles impersonate his enemies by the way they walked into a room. And so his enemies would come into the room and they'd see this sort of special poodle who'd been sort of trained to take the piss out of him, basically. And they would lose confidence, lose faces. In China, if a dog imitates you, then that's very bad. you are ashamed.
You know the culture well.
I do, yeah. if you turn your back and Labrador's going like that, get out of politics.
Essentially, as I understood it, there was an overwhelming majority in favour of women bishops, which means you can't have them.
I think everyone was a bit startled, shaken and stirred. Shaken and stirred by this vote, because in this country...
It doesn't help by repeating it slow and loud.
I thought we bonded then, though. Me and... I know you're a Christian, Ian. What would you have voted for in the bishops?
Really, in this country, you can't go around throwing that sort of accusation at people.
You are openly
I'm a
Christian.
member of the Church of England, which is very, very different.
Is it? Well, it is now.
Do you think it would help if Eve said sorry about that whole Apple thing? Because I can't help but feel that really ever since then it's been
downhill.
It's been difficult, you know. Just you do one thing like that, and everyone's like forever. I mean, literally forever. And I just think if she stepped up and said, "I'm terribly sorry," it just looked delicious. And anyway, the snake did it, or someone at Newsnight.
Yeah.
And just say sorry, you know.
You don't have chimpanzees hitting midlife and suddenly wanting a bright red sports car. But there may be other things they want, like mating with more females.
As I said.
They want to Roger Moore.
Very good.
I always thought it was funny that your real name was like one of those terrible Bond names.
It never occurred to me until you mentioned it.
It actually said, Roger, that middle-aged men are very unhappy, but when you get older, you get happy again. Is that true?
That's bollocks.
It is wisdom you get as you get older, isn't it?
Yeah,
I can feel it.
Certainly, and timing.
There's an empty ballot box. That's a tumbleweed rolling past the polling station. Did you
Either
see
that or a very fat hedgehog.
This was
it was the police commission, PCC.
It was this election, and it was a disastrous turnout, 15%. But there was one polling station in Wales where there were no votes, which is only significant because it means the 3 candidates couldn't be bothered to vote for themselves.
Some people actually turned up to spoil...
Guys, gonna have to stop. Sorry, Roger.
Is it me? Have I ruined it?
Ian, we've lost your mic. We're just going to put your mic on.
Oh, there's no loss.
I'm going to adjust yours as well.
I haven't said anything. Did it just come off?
It's been off since about 1998, but nobody said anything.
Who had a great election day?
UKIP.
The Labour Party. They won everything.
No, it was UKIP.
UKIP.
I said that as well.
Yeah, but don't worry, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, it's not important.
It's not like Mastermind, is it?
No, it isn't. The right answer is not a problem.
OK. Even if you give it,
No.
nobody notices.
No,
Then I
that's because you're a
repeat it.
woman.
Exactly.
Just wait a second. I have to write something. I'm terribly sorry about that.
Now, you mustn't get up for the next hour, otherwise it spoils the joke.
Nero's mother was called Agrippina.
Yes.
That's a venereal disease, I think.
Well, I'm sure there's quite a lot of that in the family, too. He tried to kill his mother. He tried to scupper the boat she was on so that it would sink. Is this in the notes at all?
Yes, this is absolutely true.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, you see, this is the stuff I know, the stuff that's really topical, about a couple of thousand years
Yeah, do you want to get Martin Clunes back?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, no.
That's Alan Bennett. Hello?
Oh, hi, Dad. Îndați-mi cu stai.
Pupaza, capimu?
Διακοπές?
Κάτσε λίγο, να σε δω.
Oh, no, Dad, I'm in a hurry. I'll be back. I promise.
But why don't you just stay a bit? Where's Ed?
So happy. I'm so happy to have seen that, because it proves that I am not the worst actor in the world.
Tell me there's a new series starting called Big Shot.
That is a...
You've got a lot of explaining to do.
It's a Greek television series. It's an adaptation of a novel written by my wife.
Who did you sleep with to get that job?
It wasn't a huge budget. And they paid for some other proper actors, and they needed someone to play an Englishman who wasn't very good at Greek. So I volunteered.
That's your story.
Yeah.
That's your story.
They could have got Telly Savalas.
Did they offer you the job of finance minister while you were there? They're finding that job very difficult to fill.
There's a new one out called The Thread.
Look, everyone else is promoting other people's books.
They've all got numbers
we've got
apart
your
from Patrick McGoon, who
And he's
refused
not
to have a number.
This is our question.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Do you always do this, Paul?
Yeah, that's why he wins.
Bloody hell.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was a quiz.
No, but we're answering.
No, please go.
It's like I'm living in a great big male midlife crisis the whole time now.
Well, your own
Yeah,
domestic
fine.
arrangements are your own affair.
You don't actually. We don't.
I'm having a nice time.
It's called Jayer.
It's royal backwards.
So it is, isn't it?
I did a lot of code breaking during the war.
You wouldn't think I went to St Paul's, would you?
You know, I would.
Paul?
Yes. Was that a memory test?
Yes, I was just checking whether you're awake.
They've been married for 65 years. Amazing. What is that, Blue Sapphire?
Blue Sapphire.
Sounds like a Bond villain, doesn't it?
Sounds like a porn name.
A porn name?
So I shouldn't say that in front of a Christian like you.
Yeah, no, C of E, very broad church.
Broad church, yeah.
That's another porn name, Broadchurch.
You said you need a law degree to be on Twitter nowadays.
No, you don't. It's very, very simple. You just don't repeat libelous comments if you don't know they're true or not.
Is it true? It's called
Says
Bible.
Ian Hislop.
Yeah.
Who has, in
You're
fairness,
the
some
expert.
experience. Yeah.
And if I do, I expect to be prosecuted for it. And you should be able to defend yourself. I'm all for... I mean, you can say this stuff, but you can't complain.
Yes.
Publish and be damned, but not publish and go, who gulps? That's not the quote.
Do innocent face.
Have you got a Twitter account, Ian?
No, I haven't.
He does. Yes, you do.
No, there's someone pretending to be
I
me on
see.
Twitter,
That's very
which, as
posh.
I keep saying, is tragic.
That is very posh.
They never say anything interesting.
They say things like, Paul and I went out for a beer, which is quite funny.
I've never seen the show.
No.
So for our winners this week, survival, and for our losers, this.
And at River Cottage, Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall is spotted coming home from John Lewis with a brand new meat cleaver. Ian, would you care to summarise the Leveson report?
Yes, I mean, there are 4 volumes of it and a summary, and...
We've actually got them here. There they are. How much would this cost you? Do you know how much this would,
It's 250 quid. That's my copy.
250 quid?
Yeah.
This is yours. Would you like that for Christmas?
Do you want it? If it's wrapped with consideration, yeah, I'll have it, yeah.
I'll give you all presents. Baroness, I bought you 50 Shades of Grey, which is... You've already got it. How did Sky News report David Cameron's reaction to the report?
Leave it, Leveson, or I'll cut you, shouted Murdoch from behind the curtain.
Did you see Piers Morgan's response on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah.
You did? No. I did look up the bit about Piers Morgan in that report, I'll be honest. I know it's 700,000 million words, but the 4 or 5 about Piers are well worth a look.
Can you remember what they were?
Yeah, Lord Leveson didn't find his description of phone hacking and how he'd never done any entirely convincing. That's all I'm going to say. Go and read it for yourselves.
The Conservatives don't want statutory underpinned regulation. The Labour
You're
Party
lying,
do.
Mo
The one
Morgan,
thing
you toe rag. Come this side of the Atlantic and face the committee instead of talking via internet satellite. You bastard.
Talking of which, my daughter-in-law taught him at school, you know. She said he was a very naughty boy.
Really?
And he fiddled in the margins.
He did what?
Was that a pub?
But you keen on the idea of someone from Goldman running the economy?
Look, Drahi, who's running Europe at the moment, he's Goldman, isn't he? Everybody's Goldman. And then they all hold hands with the people from McKinsey.
Do you think it's an international conspiracy?
I think so, probably.
Run by people dressed as lizards. Or lizards dressed as people.
Lizards dressed as people.
Yeah, we never noticed it the other way round.
Yeah, I know.
Seems like the question about Major Perk. It's been up there for a while.
Question about Major Perk?
Yeah.
Is that a man?
I don't know. Is he a friend of General Commotion? Corporal punishment.
And private matter. Have you got 2 Tories on the panel tonight?
I'm Labour.
Oh, you're Labour. You were just at a Tory shindig.
Yeah.
Boo.
That's the level our debate's sunk to.
Next time he talks, I'll make a fart noise.
Can I go home now?
Can I come with you?
That could be your next leader.
God.
Baroness, the Mobot was a bit of a craze, but you've actually started the V-Bot. What should we call it? Your moment in the House of Lords.
I have to tell you that noble lord and I have been friends for many, many years. He's a hell of a chap. He was a war minister during the last war we had.
Which one was that?
Iraq. Listen, chum, I am 90.
Yeah. No, I was thinking we'd had a lot recently. I wasn't going to say Napoleonic.
Yeah, no, but anyway. Oh dear.
But this is Lord King. But you at first denied that you'd flicked him the V's, or did you say that you had? Sorry, I'll stop doing it now.
It is rather catching.
Did you regret swearing at him, or...?
No, because I regretted what he said, which was that people of my age were starting to look very, very, very old. Well, wouldn't you do that if you were told?
Yeah, I can see him. The man you talk of is Michael Fabricated Hair. Here is a picture of Michael Fabricated Hair. We actually got tweeted earlier on. Just had a Have I Got News For You on the phone, asking for a picture of Lichfield MP Mike Fabricant. And then he tweeted back saying, "Gosh, I'm to be a question on Have I Got News For You? That's better than a knighthood." It's not. We're just making jokes about your appearance. It's probably going to be sat at home pulling out someone else's hair. This is the news that so-called experts at GCHQ have failed to crack the coded message found attached to a World War II carrier pigeon skeleton. Here is a picture of the bird's foot with the canister.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's Yasser Arafat.
Safe journey home.
Would you like the show to go out as a tribute?
I want JLS at my funeral.
Is that some Palestinian group we haven't heard of?
Why should you never trust a North Korean with a Parker pen?
Because they can secrete 1 or 2 hypodermic syringes in them.
Certainly had a dart in it that could cause paralysis and death within minutes.
The Bulgarians do it with umbrellas.
Umbrellas?
Georgy Markov.
Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah.
But a pen is easier to carry around if you want to.
Wow. I mean, you've got to get quite close. A little jab with the old brolly on a windswept bridge.
Back of the leg.
Have you killed a man?
Name a weekend when he hasn't.
That's why we never see the people that leave The Apprentice early on.
That's it.
It was also revealed this week that a contestant on Countdown was told by Channel 4 to cover up his offensive chest hair. It was so distracting that viewers almost forgot to look down Rachel Riley's top.
The thing is, I'm right opposite her, and it's so difficult not to appear to be sort of, you know, staring. It really is difficult. She probably thinks I'm sort of perving.
Yeah.
Which I'm not.
No, you're not, no. It's professional interest.
You've definitely done a good deal to dispel that, though, by saying...
I'm very proud of it, and I'm contemplating another contract. Ooh. So don't spoil it, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Yeah. I love Countdown.
Good. Okay. Daddy likes it, he told me.
I find it really weird when you say Daddy.
You do speak to your daddy, and you call him Daddy, and I think it's charming. And your father is one of the most amusing men I've ever met, and I hope he's watching this in a strange sort of way.
He might be.
What do you mean in a strange sort of way? What, with his head in a bucket? What do you mean?
You were a smoker, weren't you, Baroness?
And how?
When did you give up?
Just roughly.
Oh, about 102.
Yeah. What do you do now after sex?
What did I want? Cigars.
Cigars.
It's becoming increasingly difficult this Christmas if you're meant to be, you know, good about things, not going to Starbucks, not buying anything from Amazon, not use Google anything, what to do for Christmas time. And so this year...
May I suggest a subscription to a popular fortnightly magazine?
Used to go into Starbucks to use the toilets and purchase something. That's not an option open to me any longer. I'm having to go places I never thought I would go to the toilet.
Have you thought about having a toilet fitted in your own home? What can the people of Europe tell us about these desperate times?
Not much.
Well, 4 countries, Poland, Portugal, Greece and Cyprus, have pulled out of the Eurovision Song Contest in case they win it. It's very expensive if you win it. And obviously, in this country, we have our own way of ensuring that doesn't happen.
10, 9, 8, 7...
It's not the Olympic opening ceremony all over again, is it?
It's not very encouraging for our energy policy, is it?
But the entertainment didn't end there.
No.
Here are some people from the X Factor. And they're going to sing Silent Night.
Holy infant, so tender and mild,
It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Shall we have a look at a dog driving a car?
No.
Oh, yes.
A dog's clearly been stapled to the driving seat. But when they see another dog passing by, will they have a tendency to sniff each other's exhaust? I mean,
Maybe that will solve the economy if we just simply swap with dogs.
Yeah, make them work.
They do all the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
They can work out the budget.
We go and have a crap in the park and it's their problem.
Yeah.
Come on, clear it up, mate.
Apart from inventing unicorns, what else is North Korea up to?
Weaponry.
Weaponry. Yeah. It's planning to launch
Nuclear bomb.
a scary new rocket. In the British press, it was reported very differently. The Independent went with North Korea raises tension with rocket. The Telegraph had North Korea rocket plan raises concern in China. And The Sun, will world end Gangnam Style.
Is it a perfume? Infidelity.
No, it isn't.
When it smell like you've been somewhere else. This is a party of people who have set to sea in that boat there specifically to spot whales. They've been given some good local knowledge and they're looking away from us to spot a whale.
The whale is behind them. The Irish whale. It's fantastic. It's off Cork, isn't it? And there are these humpback whales.
Just taking the piss.
I would love to hear the conversation they're having, standing there going, this is so boring. We're never going to see anything. There's nothing here. Did you hear a splash?
And round the back of a beautician's in Knightsbridge, there's evidence that Rebecca Brooks celebrated her multi-million-pound payoff with a bikini wax.
I think this is a story about whether gay people are human beings or not. And if they are, they have equal rights and they should be able to get married, and if they're not, they can't.
So one Tory MP opposed to gay marriage, David Davis, caused a stir when he said most people wouldn't want gay children. So how did he prove that he isn't, in fact, homophobic?
Oh, he once hit a gay man.
Yeah, but how?
In a ring, in a boxing ring.
It did. Can you remember what his name was?
Yeah, it's the Pink Pounder.
It was.
The Pink Pounder, that's it. But yeah, David Davis punched out a gay man, so he's not homophobic. That's how we know that.
Is that really?
Took some punishment in the ring, I suspect. But...
So he actually tweeted that he once fought a gay boxer. Respect and like is what he said, which of course puts all of our minds at ease that he isn't homophobic.
He's an MP in Wales, isn't he?
Yeah.
Monmouth,
yeah.
Yeah, I've met him actually.
Yeah. Nice guy.
He seemed perfectly reasonable. I got no sense of homophobia from him. But then why would I? I never tried to box him or anything like that. He goes to church with my parents-in-law. I don't want to cause any sort of awkward politics. I once gave him directions while I was doing some light gardening.
I think the real reason he's doing it is it's just distracting.
Yeah.
It's like being in America. You do politics about things that aren't happening.
Just make us stop thinking about the economic shit pit of a situation that we have.
Is that a technical term?
Absolutely.
Or is it Welsh?
No.
But Leveson's got interesting. Because...
Wow. That is interesting.
I like the drum.
Our party would have been amazing if someone had come along and done that.
Yeah.
Is that essentially Gangnam Style? Is that what that was? It was good, it's very close. You know Gangnam Style.
Yes,
Come
I know
on.
Gangnam Style. Who am I kidding?
And let's not forget Rebecca Brooks. What did we learn about her this week?
She's getting more money than we thought. Instead of 9 million, she's getting 11.
How much did the victims of phone hacking get?
Somewhere between 30,000 and our payoff was, as in me and my family, was one of the biggest payoffs. We got 600,000 between me, my mother and my father.
So she gets 20 times more than you do
Yeah.
to keep quiet.
She
I'm sure there were other bits in the document.
She gets all legal costs as well, doesn't she? Unless she's found guilty.
Right. Well, and then she gets double?
So what did we learn about the ethnic mix of the UK?
He's changed.
Yes.
You
As
can't
reflected by the panel tonight.
Yeah.
But whereabouts in the population is 95% white British?
Wales.
quite right. But we do love strangers, honest. It's true.
It's all the Celtic fringes. Scotland, Wales, the West Country. Mostly white. Still.
That sounds like a racist weather forecast.
Dark clouds coming over.
We could just sit here all day trotting out boring statistics.
We could.
So I've invented...
I feel like we have done.
So I've invented quite a boring game that we can play with statistics called Pointless.
Pointless.
You have to try and guess which is the lowest number in the categories I'm going to give you.
Fantastic.
OK.
Over 500,000 people surveyed said that they were from a minority religion. So here are 5 of the religions closest to being pointless.
Wicca is part of the craft movement, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, Ian and Richard, you go first.
Well, I think that the heavy metal and Satanism will split a particular vote.
Yeah.
So I'm going to... I think Satanism will be the lowest scoring of those.
OK, so let's see what percentage of people picked Satanism.
Is that good?
That's good.
Very pointless.
Oh, I tell you what, this is exciting.
OK, now, Paul and Miles, your turn.
OK, I would say heavy metal. What do you think?
I think you're right. Yeah, it's not a type of... It's a type of... well, it's a type of metal.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So we're going to go for heavy metal.
OK, let's see what heavy metal has.
Doing well so far.
Yeah. Excited face.
1.2, almost. It was close.
Extraordinary noise.
So here's the list of answers of all of them.
Oh, we couldn't have won anyway, then.
So that means Ian and Richard were closest to pointless. Well done. You get a point.
Well,
Where wasn't Jesus welcome this week?
Oh, in a darts tournament. This was... yes. Jesus turned up. And unfortunately, lots of people were quite drunk. So Jesus, instead of spreading the word, was escorted out of the building by security guards.
Right.
Did you say he wasn't actually Jesus?
No, he was Jesus.
Oh, he was.
He was.
He was
He's
breaking
Jesus.
the rules.
How did I miss the second coming?
You're not interested in darts.
Which musical opened this week?
Viva Forever, the Spice Girls musical.
If anyone can name me 5 Spice Girls hits, I'm going to give you an extra point.
I'll name you 10 for 2 points.
Whoa, really? Dude, let's go.
If you wanna be,
Yeah.
2 become 1. Say you'll be there.
Wow.
Spice up your life.
Yeah.
P.A.J.Z.
Mama.
1 minute. 1 minute. Mama.
You said Mama. Okay, that's fine.
Viva Forever.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Did I have a little more?
No.
No. OK, sorry. Goodbye.
And too much.
Hang on, that's 9.
OK. Holla.
Wow, that was incredible.
Do you ever do anything where you think, why did I do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
This show really deserves to be on at 5:15, doesn't it?
How do you know that? I mean, you're not one of them.
Yeah, I'm lofty, Spice.
I think you're more a waste of spice. The knowledge.
The knowledge.
Richard, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to give you those 2 points.
Really?
I'm going to have to take away some for you being so unbelievably sad with
Yeah. You know what? That's what I deserve.
Was it recently a question on your show?
You know what? Yes, let's say it was.
OK. Or do you have a younger sister who bought these records when they first came out?
Yeah, let's say both those things are true.
And did she play them all the time?
Oh, did she ever?
So he's involved in 2 trials. Somebody failed to turn up in court, which was Ruby the Heart Stealer. She's the exotic dancer that he's alleged to have bungered when she was just 17. You know what her lawyer said?
She's at school. She's at a college of further education.
Education. It's an apprenticeship.
She's at Ian's.
Her her lawyer actually said, I have no idea where she is. She sent me a text saying she was abroad. So, is the dirty old bastard... Sorry, the...
Right, he's sitting right here.
Every single word.
What did Cameron compare his approach to Britain's role in Europe to? Think about Sting.
Think about Sting.
What's Sting famous for?
Leaving the police.
Tantric sex, but it can't be that.
It is.
Is it?
What?
He compared it to tantric sex. He said, this is a tantric approach to policy making. It will be even better when it does eventually come.
Are you sure it wasn't tantric yoga? It's not always sex.
Well, but what about the last line? How do you explain that then, Ian?
Yes.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you explain
Yeah,
that? Do you really expect the court to believe this tissue of lies? Send him down.
Oh, don't. I'm having a flashback.
He said something, once again, quite idiotic.
I get the feeling you're not a fan.
Not particularly, no.
Did you meet him?
I did.
Because you've met them all. George Bush, the Pope. Where did he rate?
I got low. Low on the world leader scale.
So below Bush?
Oh, that's low. That's low. He asked me what state Wales was in. Yeah, so not that bad.
Did you say terrible?
No, thank you very much, Ian. What did this man do to save the police a job?
Oh, his genitals light up. Alternately. That's right.
Was he having an affair, a secret affair with a passenger in the back of the van? And she's strapped to the roof inside? And their husband's driving and he hasn't got a rear-view mirror, so he doesn't know what's going on. I'm just looking for the sweets, love.
Did anyone see Ed Balls' appearance on The X Factor?
No.
He wasn't actually there in person.
Right.
But they did read out one of his tweets in which he'd written, "For the avoidance of doubt, Call Me Maybe is the song of 2012, but I'm voting for Ella."
Did he then tweet, wow, my tweet was just read out on The X Factor?
He tweeted Nicole Scherzinger to say, "Hey, at Nicole Scherzy, this is crazy. Thanks for the shout-out. Call me maybe." Ed, do you think you could concentrate on the f***ing economy?
Or f***ing the economy.
Yeah.
What is the song of 2012?
Oh, crikey, I don't know.
So it could be Call Me Maybe.
2012?
It's definitely not Call Me Maybe.
No, it's the £1 fish song.
The £1 fish song?
Couple of you. It's really funny, isn't it?
Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I'd love to hear it. I love this song.
Have a look, £1 fish. Have a look, £1 fish. Very, very good, £1 fish. Very, very cheap, £1 fish. 6 or 5 pound, £1 each. Come on, ladies, to the fish, £1 each. £1 each, £1 each.
That's awesome.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Seal has aged badly, hasn't it?
No, I think that's what he's selling.
Heil Hitler what?
Heil Hitler tandoori grill forced to close.
That's it. Heil Hitler voted 7th best catchphrase in history.
It wouldn't be hard for someone to re-edit this, just all of us taking it in turns to say Heil Hitler, would it?
I mean, I can start doing the hand signals if it helps.
Yeah, have you seen that light up there, Mark?
Simply gone.
And that's Michael Crick, the reporter who's got to the heart of this story.
What is the heart of this story?
The heart... It's Christmas, Panto. The heart of the story is that everyone thought that the bad person here was the Chief Whip, Andrew Mitchell, but it may be that it's the police themselves. Thank you, I said it was Panto. That's sort of how these stories run now.
I don't think the police would behave like that. What do you think, boys and girls? Oh, no, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't fake a police log. Yes, I think they would. Would they have it in for the Chief Whip because he was trying to impose odd terms and conditions on them?
Are we going to do the whole show like that?
Are you easily manipulated?
Some more than others.
Very good, very good.
This is the first government for, I mean, a good 20 years that's tried to reform the police.
Yeah.
It has tried to cut pay, it's tried to cut wastage. There's been a report into the police by this man called Tom Windsor, and they don't like it. And the Police Federation is quite seriously... If you think, you know, there are dark forces at work in his world, you should try the Police Federation.
You've just compared the head of the Police Federation to Voldemort.
Yep.
Yeah. We thought we'd try an experiment here. Paul, if I could just give these to you. We're going to watch the CCTV footage.
Oh,
and I'm going to play Andrew Mitchell.
OK.
And you're going to play the policeman. OK, let's see if we can make the alleged conversation fit with the pictures. Can I exit through the main gate, officer?
Sorry, sir. Cycles have to exit at the side pedestrian gate.
Sorry, officer. I am the chief whip, and I always exit through the main gate.
It is the policy for us to open a side pedestrian gate, and I'll be more than happy to open these for you. No officer present can open the main gate, as this is the policy we have been directed to follow.
No, I am the chief whip. I am the chief whip. Open the main gate.
I'm more than happy to open a side pedestrian gate for you, sir, but it is policy that we are not to allow cycles with a main vehicle entrance.
I'm not exiting through the pedestrian gate.
Come along now, there's a good gentleman.
Best you learn your place. You don't run this government, you're plebs.
You've got a point there, sir. I agree with you. There we are, David Cameron and the aforementioned Queen. She's the first monarch to attend the cabinet meeting since about 1787 or something like that. And you can see she's absolutely thrilled to be there.
Well, I think her standard phrase doesn't work with the cabinet. And what do you do? Dunno. What do you do? Dunno. Didn't she say something about going to the bank?
Yes, she made a joke to George Osborne.
Saying you haven't got any money left?
Pretty much.
I saw one of the other bars.
Yes.
Regrettably, some of the things they did belong to us.
Some of them are sold, but we've still got some left.
Why have we got subtitles? It's not The Killing, is it? I think most of us can get that. Here you got in girl bars.
Is she the mystery guest?
And since it's Christmas, who would like to see the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon attempting to sing a Christmas song?
I'm making a list, checking it twice. Going to find out who's gonna naughty or nice. Ban Ki-moon is coming to town.
If that doesn't bring peace to Syria, I don't know what will.
Lions, I believe, believed that the world's going to finish tomorrow or today, if we're going to pretend this is today. Yeah, Friday. It's Friday today. It's not really, it's Thursday. But Friday! The world is going to end in about 3 minutes' time, which is a nuisance for Ian, because he's in the lead.
Yes, this is the end of the world, due to happen any moment now. Or if you're watching the repeat, hey!
This is the norovirus. This is going to make Christmas very toilet-centric.
My daughter's 2-year-old birthday party, we basically nearly wiped out, like, 3 generations of our family and about 3 or 4 classes at the school as well, because everybody left and everybody was ill that evening. And I, like, triple-checked how I cooked the sausages, because I thought, it's the sausages. But luckily, it was norovirus. And the doctor said you can literally just touch a wall, walk away. And we were doing the traditional Northern Party game of touch the wall.
The Health Protection Agency has given some advice. Thorough hand washing after using the lavatory, before preparing food and before eating.
It's odd now that you actually have to tell the public to wash their hands after they've been to the toilet.
I know.
Don't you think that should be done in school?
I mean, basically, everything Daniel just read out comes under the heading of common sense, doesn't it? But,
yeah.
But you're not allowed to have that anymore.
No, it's gone.
No.
And I'm a young person, so that's why I read it out, not recognising it as common sense.
How very true.
Yes. We're lucky.
Don't worry, young person.
Sorry.
You will grow wise and old one day. Sounding a bit like Dumbledore. Why was Hogwarts never inspected by Ofsted? Children being eaten by serpents. Ofsted have questions to answer, I think.
It's a private school, though.
Oh, that's true, yes.
It's not much of a title, is it? Harry Potter and the Ofsted Report. It's...
My dog genuinely did eat my homework once when I was a kid. No, he ate my copy of Just William, which I was supposed to be doing a report on.
Oh.
And I had to go into school and say, really though.
And did the teacher say, fantasy again, Potter?
What would they say? Like, what,
you're not on a film set now, Dan, all that standard crap. And I was like, I know, I'm a lot less happy.
No one's getting me coffee.
I know, who are all these other people? They're so close to me.
Voldemort never had a nose.
He did have a nose at one point.
Oh.
We're going to pick old Brett Metal Nose at the bottom. He's the odd one out.
No, you're wrong. Ian?
Let's go Sphinx.
Is it the Sphinx?
Oh, no, it's...
No, it's Voldemort, is it?
Voldemort.
Yeah, of course it is.
I said Voldemort.
Did you?
Yes.
But you didn't give a reason.
Yes, I did.
You gave the wrong reason, then. Give a better reason.
Oh.
Because...
I can see why Hermione lost interest. But,
that's unfair. According to Wikipedia, Lord Voldemort is the main villain in the Harry Potter books. They made them into books.
What was the basic story, then?
You know what, it's...
Does it all turn out all right in the end?
It's... yeah.
Oh, that's all I want to know.
Does.
That's good enough for me.
I've just got to brace myself from an immense amount of hatred from the north of England.
Don't do it, then.
I've got to, Ian. It's on the auto cue. You know what that means. There's estimated to be £1.61 down the back of an average sofa. So if you live in Hull, what are you waiting for? Run out into the front garden and check.
Very bad. Bad wizard. Bad. Eric Pickles reincarnated.